Hi, Godspeed. This channel is against the Big Bang and against the current view of astronomy. So I started this channel because I discovered the Big Bang is false. But I started an extensive channel that to prove to you that I know science and that it is true what I'm saying. I'm saying like a tea science or coffee science. This is a ginger tea with lemon. So about Messier 78. Messier 78. I've studied a list about all the Messiers. Now is the 78 Messier. It is not in order. I'm putting like not Messier 1, 2, 3, like, but I intend to make about all the Messiers something. So I want to tell you that this is an Orion Nebula and Orion belt, and this appears in Bible. This is what God asked to and speak to Job. Like he asked him who tied the belt of Orion and about I don't know another constellation. And this is my favorite constellation. It's like an archer with a belt with 3 stars. And it appears like here in Romania, in Europe, where I am, but I have the impression that America also appears in October, in September even, at the end of the winter, and at the beginning of the spring it disappears. Orion constellation. So what it is saying to you that it is not an annual constellation. So this Messier 78 in the Messier belt in the Orion constellation there is another Messier 42, and maybe it will be confused with this. They're a group of nebula with clouds. So appear in Bible, and the Bible speaks with, so you understand that God wants that we will know astronomy. He asked him, God asked Job, okay, at the end of his suffering, he asked him this question, astronomical question: who made the Pleiades? I have the impression, the other constellation, and who tied the belts of the Orion constellation. So this implies that it asked him Job that he knew this kind of astronomical things. Job, it was very smart, okay? So like, so God wanted plus this to know some other things. It is like something like a summation, like God says towards all the humanity, who made us, Orion belt, who, and if you read the Bible carefully, you will observe that the Bible speaks about the heavens at all the prophets. So it is an interest. At Nahum, as I've told you, he prophesies that we will reach the stars and beyond the stars. Wandering planets. That it is a wandering star. A planet means a wandering star. It is mentioned even at in the Bible at Judah letter. So it is my favorite constellation, but I'm a Christian and I'm telling you from a Christian perspective, since I contradict the Big Bang and things like this. I want to, for Christian, to understand that what I'm saying is right. But in this process, I want to take on everything on astronomy. So I correlate with the Bible with many things. So what I want to tell you is a commentary. In the Bible, God says, who make the stars to be the signs for year, for a day, for a year. So what this is implying, even though the Bible mentions that the stars were made in a single day, by the way, this is what it means. Also that the stars are not producing anymore. God made all the stars in one day at the beginning. Then in our galaxy, the only thing that we can see, the Bible names it heaven. But God knows this. In Bible says to be signs for days and like season and like years. And this is what it means. I'm starting this video by telling you that you can see the end of the spring Orion and it disappears. It is a sign for seasons and years. So even though the God makes the stars in the single day, he put them to have a temporal cycle bigger than a day, a year. So how I want to tell you is like this. You throw Mars in orbit now, but you know that Mars will have an orbit of 2 years. So you'll see that he knows this to be signs for years even. So not only that a year, repeating year will bring the Orion constellation in the same place in the end of the spring, but even their manifestation bigger than a year, like you understand Mars made a 2 years orbit, even though he could be put in orbit like in one day. Like in one day it was throwing in orbit in the beginning with all the planets and the stars. And the Jupiter planet and Saturn planet has 7 years. So if you observe this on the sky, and you see that from the beginning Bible mentions this. The Bible, it is conscious that who wrote the Bible, that their manifestation bigger than a year even. Our Earth is moving around the sun in air. So in this way you can observe in the zodiacal constellation, like 12 zodiacal constellation, that for months it is a sign for year and months. You understand why it speaks like this. It is a sign indeed, because the Earth goes through that zodiacal sign, that it is a constellation from old times. So it is a sign of years. Like Virgo in September, and you understand it repeats the cycle in year, but they are bigger cycles than a year, and gods know this to be cycles for years and seasons, and the stars, although made in one day. So Jupiter, if he has an orbit, he could be like, then he started the orbit. But God knew that it was going to make a 7-year cycles to appear here in the part of the sky, or here in this part of the sky. So Orion Nebula, they say that it is this particular Messier 78. I'm telling you that that's why I started this list about Messier, because Messier lived in 1700s, and it was his catalog. Also, although he only cataloged them, it is not implying that he discovered them. You can see this in Orion with a lunar from Earth, with a telescope from Earth, the Orion. So that's why I'm telling you, I studied a list about Messier, that to understand that they were known in old times. So nowadays they say that it is at 1,600 light years away from us, or 1,300 years, and things like this. They are not Uh, but I'm telling you that it is not. All the stars are inside our galaxy, and the stars are not. You'll see when you see clouds, they put always that it is a birthplace of stars. The stars are not being created anymore. They were created in that day that God mentioned, in 24 hours. This is what is implying that the stars are all in the 1 day radius with the speed of light. And they are small stars. In that cloud, there are small pieces that are illuminated. Okay, so this is everything I wanted to tell you in this video. To make a full and correct view, I'm telling you data about astronomy, and I'm correlating this with the Bible. I am a Christian, okay? So I contradicted the Big Bang. Even the creation of the stars, if you understand, they are not creating. The stars were created. And the distance. Because the Doppler is false, the Big Bang is false, you must take this in consequently to ask yourself, but then what is the distance? And the distance is not 1,000 years, it is not 1,300 years, 600 years, because all the stars were created. They have manifestation bigger than a year that occur in that part or that part of the sky, that it is spherical, and we cannot see only our galaxy. So this is Messier 78. It is a sign that autumn comes when you see Orion on the sky. It is my favorite constellation, and it is lesser than a day with the speed of light. So it is close to us. 24 hours with the speed of light. God said that it made the stars into 1 day with the speed of light. It is the maximum dimension. If you have an object that it is like our galaxy, 1,000 years, there will be many temporal times, like in this part or this part. You cannot see. It will be 1,000 years temporal, and you could not have a present to make the pictures. So I'm telling you from the Bible, our galaxy has only 1 day. It's spherical, not spiral. It has one day with the speed of light. Messier 78, and it is close to us. Goodbye, God bless. Science ginger tea with lemon. Good one. God bless.